Ma'am, we need to talk about the stolen watches.
I'm sorry, stolen watches? I don't understand.
The ones you sold last week. We have the text.
There has to be some kind of mistake. I've worked
Turn
here
around,
for...
put your hands behind your back now.
Tuesday morning, Atlanta. One of Buckhead's most exclusive watch boutiques. The kind of place where the carpet is thick and the lighting is soft and everything behind the glass costs more than most people make in a year. The kind of place where you speak quietly and move slowly and the word discount has never once been uttered inside those walls. Vanessa Ellison arrived at 9:45, same as every day, parked her BMW, disarmed the security system, said good morning to her staff. 2 customers came in during the first hour. She greeted both personally, warm, gracious, professional, exactly the way she had been for 11 years. At 11:21, 2 men in suits walked through the front door. Vanessa saw them the moment they entered. She recognized the type immediately. The kind of men who don't browse. The kind of men who already know exactly why they came. One of them looked at her and said, "Miss Ellison, we need to talk about the stolen watches." Her smile held for exactly 2 seconds. She said, "I'm sorry, stolen watches? I don't understand." He said, "The ones you sold to Damon Pritchard. We have the texts." The showroom went completely silent. She said, "There has to be some kind of mistake. I've worked here for 11 years. He said, "Turn around, put your hands behind your back." Her voice cracked. She said, "Please, not here, not in front of my clients." He reached for his handcuffs anyway. Vanessa turned slowly, and the Rolex on her wrist, a stolen date just, caught the light from the chandelier above as they walked her out. 11 years, gone in 11 seconds. Vanessa Denise Ellison grew up in Monroe, Georgia. Her father worked shifts at a textile plant. Her mother was a receptionist at a dental office. 3-bedroom house on the east side of town. Nothing fancy, but it was theirs. She was the youngest of 3, the one who stayed close, the one who made her parents proud, the one they pointed to when they talked about the future. From the time she was small, she was drawn to beautiful things. She would spend hours at the library flipping through fashion magazines, architecture, design, luxury. She didn't just want to look at that life, she wanted to live it. Her parents scraped together enough money to send her to a private academy on a partial scholarship. She was one of a handful of black students in her graduating class. She learned early how to walk into rooms where she didn't quite belong and make those rooms feel like they needed her. That skill would take her very far, and eventually it would take her somewhere she couldn't come back from. She graduated in 2005, voted most likely to succeed. She wanted to go to Spelman. The scholarships didn't come through, so she adapted, moved to Atlanta, got a job at a Macy's jewelry counter. Within 6 months she was the top performer. Her manager called it the touch. The ability to read a customer the moment they walked up, to know before they said a word what they wanted and how much they were willing to spend. It wasn't something you could teach. Either you had it or you didn't. Vanessa had it. In 2007 she was recruited to a luxury watch dealer at Phipps Plaza. Her first real exposure to high-end horology, Rolex, Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet. She enrolled in night classes at Georgia State while working full-time. Took 5 years. Graduated in December 2012 with a 3.4 GPA. 1 month later, the call came. Harrington and Cole timepieces had been a Buckhead institution since 1962. Over half a century on Peachtree Road. The kind of establishment that didn't advertise because it didn't need to. Their clients found them. When Vanessa interviewed, she was 25 years old, 7 years of luxury retail experience, a fresh business degree. Gerald Harrington Jr. hired her on the spot. $52,000 a year plus commission. Within 18 months she was the top producer. She remembered every client's birthday, their anniversary, their children's names. She sent handwritten thank you notes after every purchase. She built relationships that lasted years, and she meant every single one of them. In 2015, assistant manager. In 2017, store manager. The first black woman to hold that position in the company's history. By 2019, her salary had climbed to $147,000 a year. Company car, expense account, condo in Midtown, a closet full of designer labels. She sent money home to her parents every month, told them she got another raise. Gerald wrote in her 2020 performance review, "Vanessa is the future of this company." She had the combinations to both safes, keys to the vault, full administrative access to the inventory system. She could log pieces in and out without oversight. She could mark a watch as out on loan and never return it. She could accept a trade-in and make it disappear. The owners visited twice a month. They never questioned her reports. Why would they? She had been flawless for 11 years, and she knew something else. The surveillance system had 14 cameras and 30 days of footage retention. After 30 days, recordings deleted automatically. She knew every camera, every blind spot, every gap in the schedule. She had been studying the architecture of this place for years. Not to protect it, to use it. The first one happened in November 2021. A client traded in his Submariner toward a new purchase. Vanessa processed the paperwork cleanly, logged the watch as awaiting reconditioning. That night she retrieved it from the back office safe, photographed the serial number, wrapped it in a microfiber cloth, walked out. 2 weeks later, she sold it to a private collector for $12,500 cash. No paperwork, no receipts, just an envelope and a handshake. She told herself it was a one-time thing, a loan to herself. She deserved it. She did it again in December. By the end of 2021, 3 watches, $61,000 cash, kept in a safe deposit box. The method got more refined after that. She learned to space the thefts, never more than one every 3 weeks. She learned which pieces had the highest demand. She timed everything around the quarterly inventory counts. She kept detailed records in a hidden photo album disguised as a calculator app on her phone. Screenshots of serial numbers, each one dated. In April 2022, she met a man named Damon Pritchard at a charity gala. Real estate investor from Miami, vintage Patek on his wrist. They got to talking. Vanessa mentioned she sometimes had access to pieces that never made it to the showroom floor. He said, "I know people who would be very interested in that." 3 weeks later, she sold him a Daytona for $32,000 cash. He connected her to a network of collectors across 6 states, men who paid cash and never asked questions. The operation scaled. 2022, 11 watches, $380,000. 2023, 19 watches, $890,000. 2024, 17 watches, $1.03 million. Total 47 pieces, $2.30 million. She spent carefully. A handbag here, a vacation there, nothing that would raise eyebrows. Same apartment, same car, same life on the outside. She was playing the long game. One sales associate named Brianna noticed that high-demand pieces seemed to disappear before waitlisted clients could be contacted. She mentioned it once. Vanessa smiled and said supply chain issues, nothing to worry about. Brianna never mentioned it again. Damon Pritchard was arrested in January 2025. It had nothing to do with watches. Federal agents had been investigating a drug distribution network in Miami. When they searched his condo, they found $370,000 in cash and detailed financial records. He was looking at 15 to 20 years. His attorney called the U.S. Attorney's Office within 72 hours. "My client has information about a theft ring in Atlanta. High-value luxury goods, millions of dollars. He's prepared to cooperate fully." Damon gave them everything. Names, dates, amounts, screenshots of encrypted conversations going back 3 years, 14 buyers, all connected to one source, a woman named Vanessa. The FBI contacted Rolex corporate. Serial numbers were cross-referenced against secondary market databases. Within 2 weeks they confirmed 23 missing pieces had already surfaced in resale markets, every single one traced back to Vanessa Ellison's credentials. On February 18, 2025, federal agents executed a search warrant on her Midtown condo. In her Birkin bag, a burner phone, 2,400 messages, the hidden photo album, 47 screenshots of serial numbers, each one dated, $47,000 in cash under her bed, 3 unworn watches in her parking garage storage unit. The rest was gone. The signal messages painted a complete picture, detailed, coded, operational, blue for submariners, red for GMTs, gold for day dates. Prosecutors would later describe the hidden photo album as a self-created evidence file. 6 of the 14 buyers cooperated in exchange for immunity. Damon Pritchard was the key witness. In a recorded session, he said she was a professional. She knew exactly what pieces were in demand. She knew how to avoid detection. She was the most sophisticated operator I've ever seen. He also said she never spent the money. Same car, same apartment, same lifestyle. She was playing the long game. The indictment came down in April 2025, 28 counts, wire fraud, interstate transportation of stolen property, money laundering, maximum exposure, over 400 years. Vanessa was held without bail, flight risk. Her attorney filed motions to suppress the evidence. Every motion was denied. The trial began in September 2025, 11 days, 14 witnesses for the prosecution. Damon Pritchard took the stand for 2 full days and walked the jury through every transaction. A developer named Marcus testified about the Submariner he had purchased in 2023, a watch he had worn to his daughter's wedding. 18 months later, the FBI showed up at his door. The serial number was flagged. They seized it on the spot. He lost the money and the watch and 18 months of believing something was his when it never legally was. Gerald Harrington took the stand. His voice broke twice. At one point he looked directly at Vanessa and said, "I would have given you anything. You were family." Vanessa did not take the stand. The jury deliberated 4 hours, guilty on all 28 counts. Her mother collapsed in the gallery. At sentencing, Judge Patricia Okonkwo addressed Vanessa directly, said, "You were given extraordinary trust, keys to the vault, access to millions, the complete confidence of a family that treated you as their own, and you exploited every single privilege for personal gain." She paused, then she said, "This was not desperation. Your salary was $147,000. You wanted for nothing. This was calculation, sophistication, breathtaking arrogance. You documented your own crimes. You believed you were smarter than everyone around you." The judge folded her hands. "You were wrong. 9 years, federal prison, $1.87 million in restitution, 3 years supervised release after that." Her parents visited once. Her mother cried the entire time. Her father couldn't look at her. Her sorority sisters stopped returning calls. Her condo was seized, her BMW repossessed, everything she had built dismantled piece by piece, the same way she had dismantled Gerald Harrington's inventory, quietly, methodically, until there was nothing left. Gerald retired 6 months after the verdict, said he couldn't walk into his own store anymore. His son sold the business in early 2026. 63 years of family ownership, gone. Rolex Corporate issued new guidelines after the case closed. Dual verification, biometric vault access, weekly audits. No single employee would ever again have unilateral control over a store's inventory. Vanessa Ellison will be eligible for release in 2032. She will be 45 years old. She will owe $1.87 million she cannot pay, and she will carry the knowledge that she had everything, the career, the trust, the salary, the future, and she burned it down. For 47 watches, and a calculator app full of serial numbers.